When we feel stuck, it can be hard to picture what's possible in the new year. But sometimes a small change, like refreshing your dinner routine, can make a big difference in your day-to-day. Cook Unity makes it easy to reset your meal habits with a variety of vibrant, healthy meals crafted by award-winning chefs. The chefs you see on TV and in five-star kitchens are the chefs who craft each small batch meal, and they're delivered directly to your door, ready to enjoy. There's no cooking required, and it's way healthier and cheaper than other delivery options. Experience the convenience of dishes made from local, in-season ingredients delivered straight to your door. It's an effortless way to savor high-quality, chef-prepared meals while feeling good about what you eat. Take a step toward a fresh start with Cook Unity, chef-crafted meals designed with you in mind. Go to cookunity.com/podcast or enter code podcast before checkout to get 50% off your first week. That's 50% off your first week at cookunity.com/podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. If you'd like to listen to an ad-free version of this episode and all of our episodes, then search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. That's our premium channel where all of our ad-free and advanced episodes live, all in one place. True Crime Today Premium Plus. Search it on Apple Podcasts and press subscribe. Even try it for 3 days free.
You never really know someone until you find out what they've buried. Welcome to Hidden Killers with Tony Bruschi, featuring retired FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Going back to all the way to 1995 and the murder of Tejano music superstar Selena by Yolanda Saldívar. This was huge news 30 years ago. Headlines for a very, very long time. Yolanda Saldívar murdering Selena in a hotel room at the very beginning of her superstardom in the English world. Already a superstar in the Latin music world, and still to this day, its effects being felt. Well, 30 years later, she could be out and on parole. Good behavior, according to the prison that she's in, of Yolanda Saldívar, but still someone who has never really admitted to the actual crime itself, other than saying it was a horrible accident. Should she be free? Joining me to discuss, Jennifer Coffindaffer, retired FBI Special Agent. You know, I'm not the biggest believer in rehabilitation, at least the way our system is set up now, that it offers much of a chance. But someone like this, especially this high profile, I question whether or not she'd be kept behind bars if it wasn't Selena that was murdered. But in fact, it is. Where do you think this goes from here?
Well, first of all, this murder was actually so cold.
Yeah.
She, shot her, then she went over to her. She called her a bitch after, she shot her. It was really as cold as you get. And they had a very close relationship, Tony. So this wasn't some stranger. They were not only associates, but they were super close. They had a personal relationship. She ran Selena's entire fan club. She was just so trusted. And this was truly a Benedict Arnold type case. And she was so jealous. And I think the biggest thing that shows me is she's not rehabilitated is she's basically still trying to say she didn't do it.
Yeah.
She, not like they said anyway. So I think that there is no chance that she gets out, and nor do I think she should get out.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's going to be ultimately up to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles whether or not she will be let out. There's the case file that'll be going to them, a recommendation letter from herself, an interview with her about the case, and any letters submitted by Selena's family as well. And people are going to be watching this one. With all of that being said, and the letters that I'm sure you're going to have from the family, is there anything that gives a parole board a notion to say, yeah, we think you're good to go, even though you still are denying what you were charged with and found guilty of?
I took a close look at this just to see if there was anything, and I really can't find anything. And what the parole board does, this really isn't about the case. that occurred, but it's really strictly about rehabilitation and what programs she's in. Did she do a good job in those programs? What has she done to give back and help others? And is she truly rehabilitated? Does she feel terrible about her crime? And I just don't think she has any of those check marks. I think this is going to be an easy case for the parole board.
If she were to get out, she's going to have a target on her back. I mean, there already is. It's been said for years that there's a bounty on her in prison. Well, she's made it 30 years and survived. So I guess not that good of a bounty. But if she's out in public, you get out of situations where there's a bounty on someone's head and you just go to an area where a lot of people hate you. Lots and lots of people still hate you. Yes, this was 30 years ago. I'd tell you, you go to any Latina music festival or hang out in communities or anything like that, you're going to see Selena shirts to this day. People are still proudly wearing them. She has not been forgotten in 30 years. If you look at other artists of that era, yeah, it'd be hard to name some. Not Selena. I would imagine there'd be a bit of a security threat to her to be free and be safe. Would that require any sort of resources from the government or anything to help ensure that she is safe out there? Because the threats, I'm imagining, would start right away.
Oh, no. If she is granted parole, she's out. She's on her own, other than calling a local department or something about a threat. And the interesting thing about her, two things. One, she looks very unique. She's not somebody, in my opinion, that could just blend in. And as you said, people in her community, in the Hispanic community, what I'm referring to in Texas, the Corpus Christi area, anything around Freeport, they know her, and nationally they know her. She was a star, an icon. I still listen to her music.
Sure, still played on the radio.
Yeah, they played on the radio, and she had an angelic voice and beautiful music. And so, yeah, I think there will be a target on her back. And what's worse is she's not going to keep a low profile. You know, they're doing this. She's already doing a docuseries, and she's extremely. She wants to be the face. She wants to be Selena.
Always did, yeah. It'd be interesting to see where that goes, considering her jealousy is still kind of out there in the open, and still that desire, that narcissism for the spotlight. I think it may end up being the end of Yolanda Saldívar if she does get paroled. It's probably far more dangerous for her to be out of prison than in prison. What do you think?
Oh, I agree. Much more dangerous out than in. Although 30 years later, the feelings of hate and contempt, I think, are less. And then a lot of people have passed away. True. They're old, and 30 years is a long time, but she's still going strong. But I agree, she's safer on the inside, and the public is safer with her on the inside.
Strap in and get ready to go back in time. Gen X Time Machine is here to transport you back to the glorious days of neon, big hair, and cassette tapes that always needed rewinding.
To figure out where Tupperware went wrong, we kind of got to start at the beginning.
Remember when MTV actually played music videos? Or when lunch wasn't complete without Dunkaroos?
Yeah, a little bit like trying to recapture the magic of a bygone era.
Yeah. We're diving into all that and more. So if you want to relive the 80s and 90s in all their retro glory, hit up Gen X Time Machine wherever you get your podcasts.
VHS is looking like the obvious winner, right?
Oh, and don't forget the rise of the video rental store. Remember?
Subscribe, because who doesn't need another excuse to avoid adulting? You're welcome. The Gen X Time Machine.